It's time for Fire Field Vision, powered by NovaCare, and the Chicago Fire taking on FC Dallas Thursday night at Toyota Park, a 7:30 start. And Frank, you look at it, there's been a lot of games in a short period of time, and a lot of people expected maybe some players to get a rest, maybe some other guys starting, but Veljko Paunovic has pretty much stayed with the same lineup. And do you expect the same thing Thursday against Dallas?
Look, this is something we've been talking with Paul, and then sometimes, you know, we're not there every day, and I think nowadays the science that you have with the stuff, the ability to monitor the players and their ability to recover them much quicker, because right when the game is finished, they're already thinking, you know, the doctors are working on those guys. So,
right.
You know, they didn't make any changes in the third game. You know, the team is playing extremely well, you know, and I think it's very difficult for me to see, unless there's some injuries, that they change anything going into this match, Paul. I don't know what your thought is.
Yeah, I think when you look at the way this stretch broke down, if there was going to be a game to rest players, it was that Colorado game. At this point now, you've had 5 days to recover since the game against DC United. You have 9 days to recover after this game, so I wouldn't expect any rotation. My anticipation is it's the same lineup, and then you give 9 days of rest, and you go on the road to a tough place to play in Orlando.
This is always a segment where you guys break things down. A lot to break down in those last couple of games.
Well, we put some clips together, and then we're going to go and look at them right now. I mean, from the last game, and I think we talked about it a little bit. We talked a lot about possession and overloading in the central zones, and I think the first clips will go right into them right now. And this is just a build-up just from the back. And I think just the Fire did a very good job here, just moving the ball, drawing DC United out, and then always picking the right pass. And you can just see Schweinsteiger there. I mean, you don't see a lot of players. It's just a little chip, but everything that space is created, because you see DeLu pulls to that wide side, occupying the defender. And then obviously in the final third, you know, the interchanging of players and great run. And again, you see here, overloading in the central zone. You look at the numbers, and then obviously it brings more numbers centrally, but the ability of the wide players. And then in this case, Polster making that great run. And you could just Nikolic, so smart, pulling himself away, creating the little space, and that should have been the first goal.
Yeah, and here again, another thing about this Fire team, they are able to beat you in transition, and this is what Akam brings that no one else brings to this team. That's the pace and ability to get behind the line. You always have to respect his speed. And here it's basically a chance created out of nothing. One guy with speed, getting on the ball, and it allows his teammates to catch up in a pretty good opportunity there for the Fire. And here we'll see DC United pushing forward, and this is going to lead to another chance in transition. The Fire are going to win the ball here. And Solignac, so quick to recognize that there's a run on. And boom, there's the ball. And again, it's David Akam's speed in transition. DC United gets flat. And I don't understand, if you're DC United, how you can allow yourself to get flat with David Akam. You see him here, such a smart run from Akam. Make sure he stays even, and there's the ball, the payoff here.
No, it's fantastic, and that's what we talked about. So many ways that this team can beat you, and if you just turn the ball over in bad spots, Paul, and this is, I mean, Akam, just a really smart run, but you're exactly right. I mean, just Solignac getting it set up, already knowing, you know, the space is there, and then the movement is also going to be there, which is the key. And just a great finish here, you know, by Akam. And then obviously just in the end, I hear this little combination player. And you could just see, we talked about interchanging, Solignac dropping so deep, creating out space, a little combination play. And then obviously that good ball in to DeLu. Here's the only thing I would say. You see Polster on the right side. This is where he's got to make, for me, that hard run into the back post. Because if he gets there, maybe he gets that second goal, putting himself in a better spot there.
And I'd like to point out 2 of those highlights were of Akam and his movement. And I think that's really improved as the season's gone on. David Akam now trusts that the passes are going to be there. So he starts his run early, and he knows if I make this run, the ball will come. And I don't know that that was there in the past for David with the Fire, and I don't know that he trusted it early in the season. But somewhere along the line, that trust happened, and it's been a transformative moment for David Akam with this team. His movement is there now, and guys like Dax McCarty, like Lucho Solignac, like Bastian Schweinsteiger are finding those runs, and it is opening teams up.
I agree with Paul 100%. The other side of his game that I really like, because if you look at Akam and how he's evolved from last year to this year, last year in moments, I think that he was very selfish as a player. Because he would get the ball, he would try to do so much on his own. And that's fine if you put the ball in the net. No one's going to say anything. But then being selfish with no end product, it doesn't work here. And now you've seen that evolution where he's able to draw defenders away. His head is up. He knows the runs are coming, whether it's Nico in the box, whether it's Solignac, whether it's DeLu, whether it's the midfielders coming through. So I think this is a part also in his game, other than the runs and the movement that he's been fantastic at, his ability in the final third to get it set up and find teammates that are in better spots to finish plays off.
Yeah, and I'll say actually this week Nelson Rodriguez was talking on a conference call with reporters, and he said that back in the beginning of the season when he was at the opening luncheon, fans asked him which player he thought would surprise them, and his answer was David Accam. He thought that David would be able to show more of the player he is when he was surrounded by more talent. And I think that's exactly what Frank Lopez is talking about right now. Frank, I mean, this guy has more than just speed, and he's not a selfish player when he has people to look for, and that's been huge for David.
Yeah.
He's a game breaker, you know, out of nothing. He's been fantastic to watch so far.
Well, yeah, 6 goals and 4 assists, and you brought up the point. Last year, he was the guy they relied on to score goals. And nothing against the other guys he had up top last year, but he didn't have a lot of help. Now he has, as you guys mentioned, he has Nico, and he has DeLu, and he has Solinak running on, and he has everybody else coming up. So it's really nice to see he has the opportunities, he has the options, and it's nice to see that he can take advantage of those. And you can tell it with the 4 assists, and then you got a guy putting the ball in the net like Nico with 10 goals. I mean, and a lot of those, several of those are from assists from David Accam, so it's nice to see. The FC Dallas comes to town. They're a very, very good team, and they had not had a loss until last week.